All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show. And check out Pig in a Pickle. They're in Corte Madera, open 7 days a week. And they're also in Emeryville, in the Emeryville Public Marketplace, open Wednesday through Sunday. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check it out. Get the brisket chili. All right, we're going to do a 49er video right here. Interesting article in the San Francisco Chronicle by our good friend Eric Branch. And basically, he's asking the question, what does the 49ers signing of quarterback Sam Darnold mean for Trey Lance? And then he kind of goes back and forth through this article and discusses whether or not the signing of Darnold is in any way a hedge for the 49ers. And I don't think there's any doubt that it is a hedge for the 49ers. Last year they signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a restructured incentive-laden deal that had a maximum value of $15.4 million to be Trey Lance's backup. And this week they signed Darnold to an incentive-laden contract with a maximum value of $11.5 million to compete with Lance to become the 49ers backup quarterback and potentially starter at the beginning of the year. And Darnold's just 25. He was the third pick overall in the 2018 draft. And Lance is only 22. And he's got 4 starts so far in his career. And he's definitely a man of mystery. We don't know exactly what Trey Lance is. Branch seems to suggest that there's a disconnect between there's the disconnect between what the 49ers are saying and doing as far as their quarterback position. It's interesting. He's basically saying that, that Kyle Shanahan didn't seem very interested at all in the question about, hey, do you need a third quarterback? Because, hey, we got 2 quarterbacks we can win with. And he made it seem earlier this year when he spoke at the end of the season, like, the third quarterback was, who cares? Because we got Brock Purdy, we got Trey Lance. And the exact quote from Shanahan is, I know we have 2 starters on our team right now that I believe we can win with. So when you have that situation, you're not eager to go looking around. So he kind of downplayed the idea that the Niners were, really caring that much about who that third quarterback is. And now here comes Darnold, who's, a 5-year veteran. He's got 55 career starts. He agrees to terms on a deal that has $3.5 million guaranteed and includes $7 million in incentives. And he has not been good. I mean, Sam Darnold has not been good. He's had a passer rating of 78.2, a completion percentage of 59.7. Those were last among 36 quarterbacks with at least 1,000 pass attempts since 2018. In addition, he ranks 33rd in yards per attempt at 6.7 per attempt. He owns the 3rd worst interception percentage at 3.1. And his teams have been bad. He's been on a lot of bad teams. He's been on the Jets and the Panthers. His teams have gone 25-57. And there's been a ton of instability surrounding him. He's had 4 different head coaches, 5 different offensive coordinators. The kinds of things. He's never had good talent around him. DJ Moore is probably the best receiver he's had. And now he comes to the Niners with Kyle Shanahan and all these weapons and a ton of talent and probably a really good defense and all kinds, Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. You could make an argument that every single one of those guys is like the best weapon he's ever played with as far as a receiver. So, I don't doubt that Darnold wants to be here and looks at the Niners and says, oh my God, that is where I can kind of reclaim my spot as an NFL quarterback. I'll just go there. I'll figure it out. He did play well at the end of last year with Carolina. He went 4-2 and 6 starts down the stretch, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, 92.6 passer rating, and the best football of his career. So, it is interesting. Now the question is it a hedge? And I don't think there's any question it's a hedge. Now, it may not be a hedge on Trey Lance, but it's undoubtedly a hedge. It's either a hedge on Trey Lance that Trey may or may not, ever reach his full potential, or it's a hedge on, we have no idea what condition Brock Purdy's going to emerge from this surgery, and we got to have somebody who might be able to play like right away. So it's a hedge. It's either a hedge on Brock's health or it's a hedge on Trey's development curve, but it's a hedge. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. When they're giving, I mean, and then they got that deal done the first day of free agency, and it had a very complex, list of incentives. So that wasn't something they worked out in 5 seconds. They've been working on this. Darnold was their target, and they got it done early, and they crossed that box off. But they've made a significant investment here, $3.5 million minimum, and possibly as much as $11.5 million of an investment in Sam Darnold. They went after him on the first day of free agency and got the deal done. So they targeted him probably to a lesser degree, or maybe an equal degree. He targeted them. But the question is it a hedge? Yeah, if they were rock solid on what they thought about Trey Lance, I don't think Sam Darnold is here. Or if you want to look at the Brock Purdy side of the equation, if they were rock solid that Brock Purdy was going to be exactly the player they had last year, I don't think Sam Darnold is here. But the fact of the matter is the surgery got delayed. The timeline's now pushed into what looks like Purdy returning in week 1 or week 2. That gives the 49ers no time. What if he comes back and he's lost 20% of his arm strength? Then he probably can't play and probably will be relegated to some kind of third quarterback injured status, maybe the whole season. We don't know. For all we know, Brock Purdy may never be the same. We don't know. We're hoping he's returns to the player that he was last year. The thing about it is he had requisite arm strength. He didn't have an overpowering arm. So what if he loses 25% of his arm strength? He may not be NFL. He may be an unplayable player if he loses 25% of his arm strength. It's not like Joe Flacco or Jeff George or one of these guys with a howitzer that suddenly they just have a very good above average arm. This guy had about an average arm. And if you lose if he loses even a minimal amount of arm strength, that could make a huge impact on his ability to have success as a quarterback in the NFL. So it's a hedge. It's either a hedge against Brock's health or it's a hedge against Trey's development. But make no mistake about it. Giving Sam Darnold on day 1 of free agency guaranteed money at $3.5 million is undoubtedly a hedge. A hedge on Brock, a hedge on Trey, that we don't know, but it's a hedge. All right, hope you enjoyed the 49er video, and make sure you check out Pig in a Pickle. They're open every day in Corte Madera. They're open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. They're in the Emeryville Public Marketplace. And make sure you keep it locked on the Krug Show. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll have Niner coverage for you all year long right here on the Krug Show.